So turn off your television sets. Turn them off now. Turn them off right now. Turn them off and leave them off. Turn them off right in the middle of the sentence I'm speaking to you now. Turn them off.
What's up? We are back for another recap of Ted Lasso. D. The word of the day is P.
It's P,
Mhm.
like urinate.
Oh, no, it
Oh,
starts with the P. The
oh, the
word of the
word of
day
the day.
starts. Uh-huh.
Hmm. Am I supposed to guess?
Yeah.
Does it rhyme with smushy?
No, no, no.
Oh,
How dirty of you.
I was thinking Nate. I wasn't even thinking that. See, look at you. How
See,
dirty are you?
I tried to
How
guide you,
dirty are
tried to
you?
toss you at alley. It is the penultimate episode.
Penultimate episode. You should have said it rhymes with schmishmosumit.
Schmish ultimate.
It is. It's also Ronnie's favorite episode most of the time. Did it disappoint?
It did not. It no,
It
it
did
did
not
not.
disappoint.
Not
No,
in
it
any
did
way.
not.
So yeah,
Mm-mm.
the title of this episode is Midnight Train to Royston, and as always, general impressions. What'd you think about it?
Leaving on the midnight
I'm
train.
like,
You love it. I don't know why you try to pretend like you don't enjoy my concerts. They are high class. I enjoyed this episode a whole lot. I usually get to watch it before you because I guess you get to work. You're an hour behind, but like I wanted to tell you to immediately watch it because I didn't want you to get any spoilers. But thankfully you did anyway. So obviously you felt the same way about it as I did, which is it was awesome. I loved it.
yes, it was, and kind of what I said last week. It's the culmination of. I tried to catch that, I did not, but it is the culmination of just allowing things to like just build up over a season instead of trying to like
Mhm.
rush things and let them happen. So all of the threads that we built this season, um, they've come to their climax like right before the season ends, and now it's time for a resolution. But yeah, I love this episode. It was like all the different storylines like were pretty amazing, and a lot of pretty thrilling things happened. So yeah, lots to talk about.
So much. So much. Might as well kick it off now because we're going full steam ahead.
Oh yeah, so first let's talk about Ted and Dr. Sharon. So first of all, I now looking back on it, I almost feel foolish for trying to ship them because like we knew the entire time that Dr. Sharon was the consummate professional. And I know the resolution to that storyline may seem kind of abrupt to some people, but knowing Dr. Sharon and what she meant to Ted's life, it actually makes perfect sense how it ended. So what do you
Mhm.
think about that?
I do too. I now when I found out she was leaving, I was kind of sad because I thought that she was the coach, like she was just now the team doctor and that she'd just be a part of the staff. I didn't realize it was temporary. Um, but when I found out, well, when Higgins said that she was already gone, I was devastated.
Mhm.
Like I truly was there because I thought she had already left. I didn't realize he was saying that she was leaving. I thought he said that she was like this, she was gone. That's what I heard, right? And
Mhm.
thankfully she was still there because the first thing I thought was, oh no, she can't like she knows she can't abandon Ted. Like if anybody knows, she knows. And then even he said that if anybody knows how I feel about abandonments, it's you. So
Mhm.
I think the way they wrote her, I guess wrote her off because she's gone now, right?
Yeah,
I can't
it's safe to
imagine.
assume that that's it for her. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't imagine a better way of doing it. And I also think them not reading the note was beautiful too, because we can just imagine what the words are and make it whatever we want it to be without there being a
Mhm.
definitive, this is what she said to him that made him look this way, that made him understand. Because we don't need to know the words. We know what they meant to each other. And his facial expression said enough. So I really didn't, I was glad he didn't read it because I just want to, in my mind, imagine what the note said. So with that said, what do you think it said?
Ooh, so I think she summed it up, but it may have included something else. But in summation, I think she said that um Ted, you're not a failure, both as a father and a husband. Your family still loves you. You're a great man, a great coach, and just like everyone else, you helped me just like help everyone else in your life. You probably said something to that effect.
Mhm. And I think something about their friendship too,
Mhm.
because they're like to me, it seems like they're truly friends now. And I don't know if that's allowed with therapists and client relationships, but it is. And I like it. So
Yeah.
I thought it was done very, very well, especially the fact that he was mad at her about the letter. He read the letter and then he wrote her one, even though it was just a note, he wrote her one saying goodbye. So it's kind of like they kind of met in the middle,
Hmm.
you know, because she doesn't like saying goodbye and she feels more comfortable writing it. So both of them got what they needed out of it. She still got to write and say goodbye, and she still got to say goodbye without right at the moment. Like he gave her the note. So it's kind of like I'm not ignoring how you feel or the fact that you like to do it this way better. I'm not making you bend to my will, but they both compromised, and I thought that was dope. It was just beautiful the way they did it.
Yeah, it was, and like I said, I'm glad it ended this way because, like I said, I feel foolish now. Anything else would have been like super corny, but this is like just perfect because um Sharon was there for a reason. She
Hmm.
served their purpose, and they said their goodbyes, and Ted is now better for it, and so is Sharon. So that's good. But let's now shift to Richmond FC. We get a. By the way, you know how I hate exposition.
You do
That's how you toss in a little detail. Toss it in like that. That's how you do it. Just lightly.
just a little
But
bit.
yeah, so yeah, we get the information that Samuel Vasanya is like on a tear, like he scored a hat trick. But not only that, Richmond is one game away from promotion. One game away. So we finally
And
know
for
that.
those unfamiliar, my friend, what is a hat trick?
That's when you score 3 goals in one game.
That's awesome.
Wh-
That's
Which is
awesome.
which is which is kind of amazing because what I gather is like Sam Obisanya started off um as a right back, which is like the right defensive player. But last season, Ted moved him up into midfield, and he's been thriving there. So yeah, shout out to Ted for at least making one good tactical decision. But yeah,
Oh, was it
but yeah,
Ted?
no, this seriously was Ted. That one was
Mhm,
Ted.
mhm.
That
I
I will say
I
that
only
one was
wanted
Ted.
you to say that because what's gonna come up in later on,
Hmm.
that's gonna matter. This is gonna matter. Go
Right,
ahead.
right, right. Yeah, so that one was a detail, but of course, when you start to have success, people start to notice.
Mhm.
And yeah, Sam and Rebecca, yeah, they're both approached with an amazing offer. And also, let me go back to explain this in soccer terms. So, um, there are teams like at the bottom of the table that sell one player that's like on the rise, and then they're like set for years. Like for instance, this team called Aston Villa just sold Jack Grealish to Manchester City for 100 million, and they probably bought Jack Grealish for like 1 million at most. Like I think like they pay like so their return on investment is huge. So that is what could potentially happen with Richmond because I forget Richardson's character on here, but he plays the Ghanaian investor basically, and he says, "Oh, I could exceed the valuation of Sam Obisanya. Like I can make a very handsome offer for him. Just name the price." So
Mhm.
not only
Mr.
can
Cuckoo.
Richmond be yeah, not only can Richmond be promoted, like they can come out handsomely if they sell Sam Obisanya. So Rebecca is kind of like and we kind of mentioned this. So like what like where does she go now?
What does she Okay, there's so many gems in this because I don't know, and I honestly like the fact that she was honest about the fact that she doesn't know either, because she doesn't wanna stifle him, because that would be selfish. But on the other hand, he's an excellent player, so it makes sense for her to wanna keep him on the team. But it's coming to that other thing we were saying too. Like any move she makes when it comes to Sam is going to come back to their relationship. Like we're always going to say, did she do this because it was in the best interest of the team, or does it have something to do with the way she feels about Sam?
Mhm.
So, I mean, I think Ted gave her the best advice that she could that could be given to her. Because what do you do?
Yeah, I like how Ted played it. He was like, I could not agree more. Actually, I just
Well,
lied.
wish
I
I
can't I
could. Yeah,
can't agree more.
he did that thing where you like let somebody talk it through themselves and make
Mhm,
their own decision, and you just listen, which he's great at.
mhm. So yeah, I guess the dilemma is Rebecca can be selfish and hold on to Sam
Hmm.
and hold on for him solely for the reason that she wants to pursue something in the future, although she can't give him an answer now. Like she says that she was like, I can't give you an answer now, but at the same time, I don't want you to go. Or the the businesswoman, because now she's in that mindset, she could sell him, and Richmond can have a tremendous come up. Like Sam of
Money,
Basanya
money,
is
money,
good,
money, money.
but just imagine how many more Sam of Basanyas you could buy with what's being offered. So that's the
Mhm.
dilemma, and it is indeed a dilemma.
Make Sam say, okay, make another Sam. You know what I mean? Since you can do it, since you can afford to. But I think I think the dilemma is more so Sam's now. And
Mhm,
which is good because I think it's fair that he decides what he does with his
mhm,
future and that Rebecca is going to allow him to do that because she can honestly just say no and he's just
mhm,
there. Like she could. But I like that she told him, I want you to stay. Um, but you do you. Like that's kind of what she said. Like you make the best decision for yourself, but keep in mind that I want you here.
mhm,
And so now to me it comes to do you go and take Mr. Akufu's offer, which is beautiful by the way, because I like the whole idea of we putting Africa on the map. And in order to do that, we got to get the best of our people
mhm.
because we have them. So it's not that we don't that Africa can't be great. It's just that if every great player leaves, then how can we, right? So if I can get all of the greats here, and not only just for the football, but for who they are, the men that they are, and I can make this thing great. And Africa can be one of the like best soccer clubs, can have one of the best soccer clubs, which is his goal. So does Sam do that? He's already, made it clear that he does care deeply for Nigeria. Or does he stay with his white lady?
Yeah, and
Which
that's
do
a
you pick?
and that's a. I'm glad they address this too. By the way, this show is so smart. But yeah, I'm glad they address
Yes.
this too because um, Nigeria's national team isn't as good as it can be, and that's because most of them are playing for England. Some of them are playing for Germany. Some of them are
Hmm.
playing for the United States. Simply because, like, and once again, this goes into colonization and just depleting of resources. So a lot of those families had to flee, like, and not even just like Nigeria, of course, because I'm not saying Nigeria is like some war torn country, but I'm just
No.
saying like a lot of these countries in Africa, like their players had to go, because their families had to go seek different opportunities. Like you look at France's national team, like I think they have 7 starters that are black, none of which are just French. Air quotes if you can't see this. So yeah, I'm glad they addressed this. They're saying, what if our best players came home? And yeah, that's a bit of a beautiful premise. Now my soccer mind is like, okay, logistically, like this is uh an African league team, so um I don't know who else they would be playing because those teams don't really play in the Champions League. But anyway, that's besides the point. But either way, like it's a beautiful
Yeah,
beautiful
skip that part.
premise. Yeah, skip that part. So yeah, it's a beautiful premise, and I'm glad that they introduced it because yeah, I always wondered that sometime, like, what if Nigeria was able to retain its best player? So yeah, interesting premise.
It is cool. And I think the best part was the fact that he's saying that he's a walking what did he say? I'm a walking confliction. Is
Mhm.
confliction even a word? But
he,
we'll say
he
it is.
he 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 made it one.
It's the language barrier. We could make it work, but we know
Yeah.
what he meant. But he said, I am a billionaire and I don't think billionaires should exist. And that's how I am. Because my first thought was, you can remedy that if you give it away. And it
Mhm,
seems that that is what he's planning to do. Now, he's not going
mhm,
to be dumb and just say, okay, here, just take all of my money and I'll make a way. Like, I don't think anybody should give all of your money away. Of course, you should have enough to be stable for you and your grandkids and your grandkids' kids. That's fine. But if you have amassed a certain amount of money that you can't spend in 3 lifetimes, then that's ridiculous. And if you can take a lot of that and give it away in whatever way you can, great ways, you should. Because he's not making any, like he's not trying to pretend that he's anything else. Because I mean, he bought a freaking museum and a
mhm,
restaurant just
mhm.
because he wanted to show Sam a good time. So he knows how to spend the money. It's like he knows how, but he still understands that there's a responsibility for him to help as many people as he can, especially his own. And it seems like that's what he's trying to do,
Yeah.
which I like.
Also, quick aside, I love the fact that he was like, "I don't shake hands," but then he sees Sam and he's like,
Like that, it's like that skit with
"Yeah, the
Keith,
Key and Peele
the
skit."
Canfield,
Yeah,
yeah, he's like,
yeah.
"Yeah, okay, yeah, yeah." It's exactly what like that, and I could not stop laughing, and it was funny too because Ted looked at him, he was just like, I get it."
I was like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
I get it."
Also, nice shouts to I May Destroy You because he mentioned the actor, the extra in the museum,
Mhm.
but Sharon, the actress that played Sharon, she was also in I May
She
Destroy
she's
You.
also in I May Destroy You.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep,
By the
and
way,
they
if
didn't they just win an Emmy, like, over
yeah,
well, they were in the same category, I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, by the way, if you haven't watched I May Destroy You, please remember that it's a fantastic piece of work. Challenging, but
Yes.
fantastic. But anyway, yeah. So shout out, yeah, definitely shout out to that. Shout out to the mention. Also shout out to Banksy. Like I don't like look, do it is that the real Banksy? Who
Who
knows?
knows? It
But
might be.
as
Wouldn't
far as
that
we
be
know
cool?
it, as far as we know, it can be. Like
It
we
could
don't know either way.
maybe I'm Banksy. Maybe you're Banksy.
Maybe so.
Who
Who
knows?
knows?
Who knows? It is to me though, I think the most incredible thing about that is in this day with all of this information that we have, all of this social media, that he's still anonymous or she. I'm assuming we're the Banksy's a man. We're making an assumption, right? Because we don't
yeah,
know.
yeah, I feel
Or
like
do we know that
people
it's a man?
yeah, people have claimed to know enough to know that Banksy is a man, probably like
Mhm.
early 40s.
I hope it's him. And if it's not him, I hope the person is I hope Banksy is just like him.
Yeah.
Like
Like what
just
if Banksy was like an extra, but not that guy in the scene? Like
but
that would
not
be
that one.
yeah.
That would be so cool. I wonder if he's ever gonna reveal himself.
Nah, I feel like that's part of the mystique. I think it's yeah, it's cool. Like
I
if
think
you
it
know,
would
you know.
take I think it would take somebody claiming to be him for him to just be like, "Yeah, no, that ain't
Yeah.
Banksy." But it doesn't seem like anybody will do that because they should be afraid to. Because there's ways to find out if somebody's lying.
Yeah, and I feel like there are enough people who like truly know who would be like, nah, bro,
Mhm. Nah, it ain't
you're
him.
not
You know
Banksy.
you ain't
Because I
him. Yeah.
mean, there are some people who know, of course, but yeah.
Yeah, I got you. That was cool. I liked it. I liked all of that, and I like how not only is the show incorporating Sam's storyline with him being from Nigeria, but they're putting forth effort. Like the
Hmm.
small stuff like the Jollof Wars and how Akufu kept saying, yeah, he's pretty good to be Nigerian. So it's like
Hmm.
the whole Ghana Nigeria thing is still it's like an inside this African country is better. So it's just really it was just it's not just we're just dropping this stuff in here just so we can say, "Oh, we talked about Africa." They're
Hmm.
actually putting forth effort to say, "Okay, what is it that you would want us to explore or talk about? Or what kind of conversation would you have with a billionaire from Ghana? Like, how would that go?" And I can tell that they got some input or at least got some writers that knew.
Hmm.
And I just thought that just because it just shows that it doesn't take that much. You could just ask a simple question and then just write it in there. It's really
Hmm.
simple. You can. So
Yeah,
I just like it. I like the effort a whole lot.
I love the fact that, you know, like the primary writers on the show are like Brett Goldstein, who is Roy Kent, Brendan Hunt, who is Beard, and of course, Sudeikis. But there are legit times this season where they just said, you know what, let's step back. And that's when they brought in Ashley Nicole Black of the Black Lady Sketch Comedy Show, and she's written like 2 or 3 episodes this season, and you can tell,
Mm,
like it's apparent,
mhm,
like you can tell. So
mhm.
so the fact that they're like, okay, we have this story, but let's make it authentic. So let's step back and bring in someone who knows better. And of course, they don't want a cookie for this, but you see these, mishaps happen so often that you got to shout it out for them to recognize, like, okay, we can't tell this story, so let's bring in somebody who can.
And I'm glad they do, 'cause it's not
Yeah,
that hard
yeah.
to do. Like, it's you can do it. You can. Just you have to want to. That's all it is. You have
Mhm,
to put forth some effort, and I'm glad they do. That's what I'm saying.
mhm. So D, I got one question for you. Going back
Okay.
to the Brett, not Brett, excuse me, the Ted and Rebecca conversation where Ted said you dropped a truth bomb, and then same time next year. I'm not gonna lie, I was like,
Hmm.
what
Hmm.
could it be?
What bomb could she drop next year?
Mhm.
Could it be? Hmm.
Because also let me say this. So shout out to Chuck, the CSJR. He said that he believes that the Ted and Rebecca thing was a red herring the entire time for the Sam and Rebecca thing. I think it might be the opposite. Like it's like
Mm.
Like, it's almost like, "Oh, okay, we were teasing this the whole time, but that's not really what it is, or is it?" So,
Where is
I
it?
still feel like that's going to be a thing.
And I wanted to add a little fun fact. He said Sam and Rebecca was his favorite TV couple. So to
Mhm,
have one in real life is great. Sam and Rebecca were on Cheers. Norm from Cheers, the actor, is Jason Sudeikis's uncle. So he's had like I think he's had a shot about Cheers before then. He either said something about Norm, I
mhm,
think when they were at the restaurant, when he was
mhm,
at the restaurant with Roy. But I just it's just cool that he just keeps, kind of throwing them in there like, hey, here's another Cheers reference for y'all that know. Cause I
mhm.
didn't watch Cheers. It used to be on, but I was too young to remember it. Finally, something I was too young for. Yay.
Don't be
Those
so
things are
tough on
getting more
yourself.
I know they're getting so few and far between. It's like, oh, I remember that vividly, but this I don't. So thank you very much. But I if it's not that, I think it'd have to be something good for it not to be what I'm expecting now. Right? Because he made it a point to say, you're making a habit of this. Because he didn't have to say that. He could have just
Yeah,
let
he
it go.
I have to say that, right.
Like they wanted us to remember, oh crap. So next year around episode 10ish, I'm gonna be like, what's it
Hmm,
gonna be? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? Here we go. And it's gonna be Ted, I love you. Maybe. Nah. But maybe.
but maybe.
The only problem is if Sam leaves, it's kinda gonna suck because then Sam won't be on the show anymore. I mean, I guess he could be.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like, seeing the rise of this character, Sam, like, and by the way, like, another shout out for just recognizing, like, the players you have, like, and I mean like players as in like actors, and being like, okay, people seem to like this character. Let's bump him up a bit more. So like Sam was featured heavily this season. So to remove him, I mean, of course, we still have a great supporting cast. We still have a great story, but yeah, it would be a bit weird to not have Sam.
And in their defense, they could do it because they're gonna do it for Sharon too.
Hmm.
So it could work. Like this wouldn't be the first time that a character has been on a show and they left for whatever reason. So I'm not saying that the show won't be great without Sam. I'll just miss him because again, they just brought him, to the forefront. And now I love him. And then, if he leaves, it'll kind of be like, oh man, it
Hmm.
sucks. But maybe he'll leave and he'll do well, and then they'll like, highlight him, and then we'll still get to see him. And then he'll meet some nice woman, and then, move
Yeah,
on with his life.
because like I said, I can't help but to think that Sam's purpose was to show Rebecca what she deserves. Because like we keep saying, the big elephant is the room is obviously their age difference. There's no way they could really work, but they work on paper. and they work in regards of Rebecca knowing her worth now. But
Mhm.
as far as like long term, I just can't see it.
And not only, like you said, she knows what she should be looking for, but it's also what she can have. It's
Hmm.
like these things that you wanted in a man, they exist.
Hmm.
Nobody can tell you that you're reaching for the sky, that you're doing too much, that you should lower your standards because she doesn't have to. Because now she's had it. She knows that this person exists. And the
Hmm.
things she wants, she can have. So she doesn't have to settle for anything else. And Roy already told her that.
Hmm.
Like, so maybe now it'll stick.
Great transition though,
Mm.
because let's get into
No, I
Roy and
don't wanna
Keeley.
do
So,
it. Mm,
so
I don't wanna.
all right. So obviously they like previewed the teacher earlier. You could kind of tell that like she liked Roy, but Roy was just like, I'm aloof because I'm Roy Kent. But he was kind of entertaining it this time around. Like he almost blew off Keeley. So what do you think about that?
Alright. On last week's episode, we
Yeah, get it
both were
right.
saying, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with Roy and Keeley when it comes to Jamie. And our biggest thing is she gonna tell him? Is she gonna tell him about Jamie? Is she gonna tell him about Jamie? And your thought was she was gonna tell him and he was just gonna say, of course he loves you because you're hot and just kind of move on. But we were thinking, I think long term, either that was gonna happen or she wasn't gonna tell him at all. Okay. I wasn't expecting this though. Like I wasn't expecting the Roy part.
Mhm,
Um him talking to the teacher is kind of giving, okay, there's chemistry. Keely is not the only person in the world that you could love or that you can love or that
mhm,
you can be with or that you can be happy with. And I don't know what Roy's dating relationship was before Keely, but it didn't seem like it was very interesting or it existed at all. Right? I don't It was just a thing. So this again could be a situation where she has shown him that you can love, you can be in love, you can love somebody, and this is kind of how to do it. Him and the teacher are alike in their personalities, kind
mhm,
of. And that kind of stuff matters, right? So I think it could go two ways. It could be one, they're going to break up, which I kind of feel like they did. We'll get to it, but I think they kind of did. But they'll break up. Or two, it'll be a situation where this is real life. Like, yes, you have a person. And if you believe in monogamy and you want to be in a monogamous relationship, you choose your person, even when there are other people out there.
mhm,
So it could go either one of those ways. They can choose to be together because they love each other, excuse me, and they're not just going to say, oh, okay, well, since I like somebody else, this can't be it. Because that's just foolish. That's not how life works. You still are attracted to people. There are still people that you can be into. But if you choose to be, again, like I said, in a monogamous relationship, then you choose your person all the time. So those are the two ways it can go. I personally think it's not because I think they broke up. I feel like they broke up. Like
yeah,
they, I feel like they did. Even with like just sitting there with the realization of what happened, the fact that he told her he talked to that lady for 3 hours,
mhm,
and the writing is so good because she mentioned Nate, and neither one of them had a reaction. It was just like
mhm,
whatever. It's like it's whatever. Okay, it's Nate. But when he mentioned the teacher for 3 hours, you could see in her face, like, really?
mm,
And then she dropped this Jamie bomb on him, like, oh, well, since you talking for 3 hours, how about this? And like the vein in his neck was like pulsating to the point where you can tell he was angry and hurt, but almost didn't know what to say. So it's almost like a gotcha for both of them. And
yeah.
the looks on their faces look like they broke up.
So I was gonna say comment first, then question. Comment. I don't know if you picked up on it, but it seems like Phoebe really likes the teacher too, if you know what I mean.
Mhm, mhm,
Yeah.
mhm, and that was the other thing too. Yes, I think we mentioned that too, because I'm like, Keely is a part of Phoebe's life too, so if they break up, she's
Mm,
almost gonna break up with Phoebe or not. Like she could still be around Phoebe, but will she?
mhm.
Will she? But you're right. Yeah, Phoebe likes the teacher a lot, actually.
Yeah, because those pictures are clearly the teacher. But anyway, um, and
Hmm.
I think we are both in agreement that Keeley would not have told Roy if he didn't say anything about the 3 hours, and that was almost like a one, like I'm gonna one up you.
Hmm. And I think he felt that too
Hmm.
because the anger was almost like, why didn't you tell me this before?
Hmm.
And are you telling me because you're entertaining it, or are you telling me because I hurt you? And I wanted to ask you too about the marriage part because she asked him, was he married? And he said no. And then he stopped for a while, it was like, a pregnant
Hmm.
pause. And it was just kind of like him, I could see in his brain was almost like he thought about Keeley being married to Keeley and it freaked him out, but it shouldn't
Hmm.
have. Not at this point.
As a man, I have a different read. So,
Okay.
um, there are some men that say that men only fully disclose their full relationship status when it's somebody they're not attracted to. Like for instance, so in that instance, Roy should have said, like, no, I'm not married, but I have a girlfriend. But he just put that no, I'm not married, space dot dot dot.
Oh, here's my phone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But she knows. Well, no, maybe she doesn't know. Because she wouldn't have asked him if he was married if she knew about Keeley. I would think, right? Or would she?
Yeah, and I don't know, I kinda get the feeling that the teacher could not care less that he's a vacant, so maybe she doesn't know. Maybe she doesn't know
She may
that
not.
Keeler's around. Yeah.
She may not. It's just, I don't know. But again, there's clearly an attraction to the teacher.
Mhm.
There are clearly some lingering feelings about Jamie. But I wonder still if Keeley would have ever, if she would have just dismissed it forever, if Roy hadn't said, "Oh, by the way, I spent this time with this teacher, 3 hours with this teacher," and she asked me, "Was I married?" and I said no. Does he want to break up with? Like, did he want to break up? Like, is he confused? Is that why he said it to her? Because they are very honest with each other.
Mhm.
We've said that before. They tell each other almost everything, but I don't know. It started with Nate, and then it just kind of went downhill.
Like, okay, so here's what I think about them. Like, they're they're a good couple, but how much do they truly have in common?
And not only that, he's totally a rebound.
Mhm.
Like he is. He's totally her rebound from Jamie. He is. So maybe they just, like you said, they just look good. They make each other happy, but do they love each other? I mean, romantically, because she
Hmm.
was dropping hints too. Remember, in when she was at the boutique, she's like, Roy never does this kind of stuff with me. He's always like, Roy can't, and she's making the voice or whatnot. So, like you
Mhm.
said, their interests don't align. They just, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't necessarily like the fact that this is happening, but it's real life because you can always look a certain way or pretend to be a way because you want to be with this person and it
Mhm.
makes sense. But that doesn't mean that that's how you actually feel. You may feel some kind of way. Like you could be happy today and get divorced tomorrow. Like that's how
Mhm.
relationships go. So it's not that surprising. It's just kind of, I guess it's too real for me because I'm like,
Also,
oh, I don't want them to.
also to bring up something I just randomly learned. So the actress who plays Bex, her name is Keeley in real life,
Nice.
but she and Jason Sudeikis are allegedly dating. So make of that what you will.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-mm. Okay, moving
Yeah.
on.
So yeah, remember last season what I told
Makes
you?
sense
It's
for her
like,
to be there now,
yeah,
like, cause why is she there?
yeah.
Why is Bex But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I said, remember last season I told you it's a lot of his like real life in Ted Lasso. Yeah. So
Yeah.
but yeah. So yeah, now
There it is.
let's move on. Now let's move on to Nate,
Do we have to?
also known as Judas.
Judas. Oh, Judas. Okay. Let's start from the beginning with Nate. Um, the plays. He wrote the
Hmm.
plays. And he's really upset because he wants credit for his wonderful job as a coach.
Hmm.
The reason I asked you about Sam was because again, it's like Nate has this idea that all of the success of the team is coming from him. Like he's really convinced himself that the only reason the team is successful is because of Nate. And
Actually, Roy.
okay.
But anyway,
And
continue.
the best part about that though, no, I'm glad you said that, is because the best part is Roy told him, he was like, that's the job.
Hmm.
Like that's the job. And while we were watching, my husband made the point that yes, he gets the credit, but he also takes the blame.
Hmm.
And
Exactly.
Nate, and that's why I was like, I want them to win. I want them to be successful. But if that false nine fails, I wouldn't be mad because
Well,
then Nate,
ain't no false nine now.
well, ain't there not, well, it better not be. Oh, it better, oh, it better
Uh-uh.
not be.
Uh-uh.
They have to fire Nate, right? Like they have to, right? Nate's got to get fired, right? Right?
He,
He kissed Keeley. That's one. He
mhm.
kissed Keeley. He betrayed Ted, and it's not just the betrayal of the panic attack. It's the betrayal, meaning you told the world something that was supposed to be held. Like I told you that in confidence. So how can I
Mhm.
trust you with anything else?
Right.
With anything else. Shout out to Trent Krim though, the independent.
Yeah.
You're my boy. Because he didn't have to tell me it was Nate. Like I said, it was Nate before everybody knew it was Nate. Like there was no question on who told him because nobody else. It was Roy, Leslie, Beard, Ted, Nate. Of those five people, who would tell anybody that he had a panic attack? Nate.
Nate.
He's the only one. And it's first of all, I hate his whole spitting ritual. It's stupid.
Yeah. It's
I hate
disgusting.
it. And it's disgusting. And I don't I don't get it. Like, I don't understand it. I get Rebecca's make yourself bigger. That makes sense. But the whole spitting thing, is it himself? Because it's always his reflection. Are you spitting at
I feel
a
like that's
version of
him.
yourself?
That's him doing something he wouldn't normally do.
Okay, so he's just outside of his comfort zone. It's
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
stupid.
Yes, it is.
But excuse me, he said this whole thing about wanting to take credit, and when Beard gave him the
Hmm.
analogy of the sun with, they thought that they all were fighting for the the sunlight, but it turns out they shared it. He's like, "Are you ever gonna give me a straight answer?" Roy was like, "Dude, he
He just
just
did.
did." And that's the same. I was like, he just told, like, are you just like not trying to hear it? Or you're just waiting for them to join onto your bandwagon. And that's what it is. He wants somebody else to come in and say, "Yes, you're right. Ted doesn't deserve any credit. You should be getting it all." I do want to add
Hmm.
though, it's still unacceptable that Ted doesn't know this stuff. Like he should
Yeah.
know this stuff. And I can understand that kind of frustration. But they got too much dip on his chip.
Way too much.
Way too much. Way too much. And you brought it up. You said you saw him talking to somebody at the funeral. Who was it?
Yeah. He was talking to Rupert.
Do you think, because Rupert has said that Bex is going to sell her shares back to Rebecca,
Hmm.
right? Do
Hmm.
you think he's going to buy another team?
He is because he loves football. Like Richmond FC is his baby because of his love for football. So he's definitely going to buy another club.
That was my thought. He's going to buy another club and he's going to bring Nate. Maybe.
Hmm.
Or, which I hope happens, he doesn't. And Nate's just back at being the Wonder Kid boy. Maybe. Kid man, whatever it's called. That's what you are. Um, did you notice though that Beard gave him that look again? when he was
Mhm,
berating Will about the suit.
mhm.
Yeah, because I think Beard is now seeing that your wrath is just transferring from one person to another, and I don't think it's gonna matter now because they're totally gonna fire him, right? Right?
I'm trying to see.
They have to.
I'm
They
trying to
have
see if that
to.
I'm trying to see if that part of Ted is going to come out where he's like, I failed you. You deserve another chance.
Oh, bleh.
We gotta remember
You think so?
Ted's better than all of us because
He
I would
is,
fire him.
and he said no comment. I would fire him too. I wouldn't even think twice about it. I would say you knew what was gonna happen when you sold this story. So
I would have had
yeah,
to pull
I'm
up to
glad
his
you told the
house. So
world. Yeah, I'm glad you told the world I had the panic attack. Now you can go and spread the word however you want to. You can even tell them that I fired you because you told it. But you got to get the hell out of here. Because
yeah,
you can't trust him.
you
Like
can't
you
trust him.
can't trust him. You can't. There's no way you can trust Nate now. No
And
way.
also that and also that's almost like a we're gonna use this analogy since it's kind of evergreen for you. That would almost be like a wide receiver coach, like taking the credit for like a head coach and be like, you know what, we've won this game because of me.
Let's talk about it.
Okay, sorry,
You didn't have to do that. You didn't have
sorry,
to do that.
but yeah,
You didn't. You're not sorry.
really, it's like really the knowledge like flows across on the coaching staff, like and the role of a head coach is to take off that knowledge and be like, this is what we're doing.
Mhm.
Like it's like to basically sign off on the final decision. So if Nate doesn't recognize that, he's not gonna be much of a coach himself.
He's Nate needs to be a better person,
Hmm.
period. Like just in general. Because he's unfortunately that case where the bullied becomes the bully.
Hmm.
And that doesn't help. Like you need to figure out your stuff and get it together and then be better. And then you can just be a better individual. Because Nate's just not a good person, I see.
Nah.
He's not. And I hate that he was bullied, but I don't I don't think that has anything to do with you as a person because Ted didn't say he was bullied as a child. He always said he was underestimated.
Hmm.
And he turned out to be great. So Nate, again, yes, he has his father, which is partially to blame for it, but you had your integrity, who you are, that's on you. He's grown now. Like you being a shitty person is just because that's just who you are.
Hmm.
Like just who you are. Did he in his defense, I could see where he could get misconstrued with Keeley. I mean, she was this close to his face and all of that stuff. So I still think it was odd that he tried to kiss her though. Like she's just
Like
being nice to you.
I was gonna say that. So I could and also not to like speak for women, but I understand why women are like just so cold when they meet people they don't know because if you show any sign of just being nice to a person, they'd be like, "Oh, she likes me,"
She
and that's
likes
what that
me.
like because what she was doing right there, that's just Keely. Like she would have like she gets close up on people. She's very like in your face. She's a very like she's very extroverted. So yeah, like and plus like not I hate to do this, but Nate, you're Nate, so like you know.
And it would be different if she didn't know Nate. I mean, if he didn't know Keely was dating Roy too.
Mhm,
So you just all around, you disrespecting her, you disrespecting the fact that she's in a relationship, and you just again got too much dip on your chip. And like you said, it's not like this is weird for Keely because she had just met Ted and she had him feeding her a cheeseburger in the
mhm.
park. You know, because
Exactly.
it wasn't a big deal. It was just like I have these stupid things on my hands. I need help. And Ted didn't take it any other way.
Mhm.
So it's just Nate. Because again, I'm like, wow, Earth, would you think Keely was? But anyway,
Yeah.
whatever. Because she was being nice. Sam had 72 hours to make his decision.
No, 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 no. Correction. He has as much time as he needs but he has 72 hours.
But he has 72 hours. It's funny because I watched it twice and I missed it the first time. I heard you have as much time as take as much time as you need. You have 72 hours. That's not long.
No, it's not.
That's not long at all. But he seemed really excited about it.
Hmm.
Like he really did. He seemed really excited about what Mr. Akufu, I wish I could remember his first name, but what Akufu was saying, and I think he was kind of buying into it. He liked the effort. He liked how he was
Hmm.
being courted, because it was nice. Like you bought a
Hmm.
whole museum and a restaurant and had a chef come make my kind of gelato. Like it was just really dope. And it was just like this is what I'm doing because I really want you to be with me. Now I
Hmm.
understand that you have this loyalty to Richmond because that's your club. Because he told him, he's like, I'm not leaving, right? But I think he will.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So let's put it on the books now. So the Sam leave.
Yeah, I think he's gonna leave. I think he and Rebecca will have a come to Jesus. I think he's gonna talk to his dad, and I think he's gonna have that revelation too, and say, if it were not for you, I would make this decision. I would leave. And for that reason, you can't be the reason I stay. You know what I mean?
As dark as this show is this season, like let me add that this season,
Mhm.
it'll probably be, and I hope it doesn't happen, but it'll probably be something to the effect of he makes his mind that he's going to leave, but in the last game in promotion, he gets seriously injured.
Oh no, no.
Like because I can't basically like even though I'm tossing that out, I can't say there being like I can't see there being like a definitive answer either way. There's going to be something that happens that kind of like
Toss up.
forces them into a choice.
Do you think, even with the injury, do you think Akufu would take him anyway? Because I feel like he would.
I mean,
I think he'll
yeah,
take him
you
anyway and let him rehab and do all of that
well,
stuff there.
well
But I
that well
think
that's
at
the
that
thing
point,
to complete a transfer, you have to undergo a physical, so no money is exchanged if you
oh,
can't pass that physical.
ooh. Even in this situation?
Yeah. So if
Oh
no
wow.
terms are agreed on, like and he didn't undergo his physical and yada yada yada, like nah, it's not
So
happening.
he'd be stuck?
Yeah, he'd essentially be stuck.
Oh no, please don't do that. Don't do it, please. That'll be devastating. But I would not be surprised if we don't get an answer either way. But since this
Mhm.
is the last episode, it could be one of those things where we don't know. They're just kind of like, him and Rebecca on the midnight train,
Mhm.
and he makes a decision, and then next season we see whether he stayed or if he left.
Mhm.
But I think he'll. I hate to say this, but I think he should
Oh
go.
yeah, he definitely should.
Question though.
Uh
Um, this is a soccer question. Should he go for the soccer part of it? Should he go or should he stay with Richmond?
um
Well, we don't
considering
even
that
know what club he has yet, though. So keep that in mind. We don't. I'm saying we don't know what club Akufu has. He hasn't even bought one yet. He's
no
just like the one I'm
no he,
going
he
to buy.
mentions it. He said he is buying something I think it's like Rojo Casablanca,
Okay, okay, okay. But yeah, I mean, he hasn't done it
which
yet, which he will. He will. He's got
but no,
to.
he was like, you're one of only five people to know this. I'm buying the club. Like he said that.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
should he?
So
So with that in mind, should he go soccer wise, professional player wise? I say.
I mean, considering that is Richmond FC, probably so because the offer is great. He's going to be immediately launched into like international stardom. I mean, because he's probably like he's probably kind of one of like those best kept secrets playing for the championship. People like, oh, that Sam Obasanya guy is good, but like nobody like really knows him like outside of England. But this could launch him into international stardom. So yeah,
Okay. Could he not do whatever the thing is that Jamie was doing? Because Jamie was
uh,
playing for Man City, right? And then he was on loan to them. Could
so
he
yeah,
not do that?
that's a loan. But considering that he's one of Richmond's primary players, like You all right? So you basically loan a player out if like top clubs typically do this. Like for instance, like there's been situations where Manchester United has had like this super good 18 or 19-year-old, but they got the big dogs in their starting team. There's no way this player is going to get time, but you still want them to get playing time elsewhere. So you loan them out for a season to like a lower team. So basically, I say all that to say, Sam is one of the top players at Richmond, so there's no way they would loan him out because he is like one of their top players, and they don't have the
So it's like
depth to do that.
baseball? Is it like
Yeah, yeah,
baseball? Minor
yeah,
league? Okay.
kind of, sorta. Yeah, so
Okay.
so basically, when you loan a player to a team, like that team like picks up like the wages for the year, and for all intents and purposes, like that player plays for that team for a year.
Mhm.
So it like I guess think of it as like if I played at Florida State, I could get on playing time. So I'm going to transfer to like a JUCO to like get my name known or something. So it's almost like that,
Mhm.
similar principle, but yeah. So you just go get like the playing time elsewhere, then you come back to your original squad, and hopefully you've developed enough to like be a starter.
How long do soccer players play? Like at what age?
It depends. So it's really
Injury free.
strange. All right, so it's not uncommon for a soccer player to play to like 35.
Okay. So he's got a long
But dep-
time.
but yeah, depending on the position, like they could possibly play longer, but typically like 35. Also in soccer, like the what we call like the peak years. Like for instance, like the peak years in the NBA or like NFL would be like 27, 28. That's kind of considered like the twilight of your career in soccer. So Sam is approaching like his peak years because that would be like between like 24 and 28.
Okay. So did you say? What did you think? I say he goes. What do you think?
I mean, I think he has his mind made up. Yeah, I think he really wants to go.
Yeah. So you don't think Rebecca had any, I guess, bearing on his decision? Her showing up at his house?
I mean, the fact that she says she can't give him an answer, though.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but she can't though.
Yeah,
She be
and
it wouldn't be cool if she pulled that and then was like, oh,
mm,
still. I think he's
mm,
gonna I think he should consider all of that. Like this shouldn't work for whatever reason. She is my boss. She has to figure out her life. She called it off. And now I have this opportunity. And if he considers all of those things and he'll be closer to home, you
mhm.
know, they'll find him a nice Nigerian woman.
Yeah,
But he's got time. He's only 21. Like he could just,
yeah.
chill out for a while. That's another thing. Is he ready for like a life and a marriage and all of that stuff? Because that's what Rebecca wants.
I mean,
Is he ready for that at 21?
it seems like he would be, but at least he thinks so.
Mm,
But yeah,
I think he should go just live a little bit more.
mhm,
And I was thinking the same thing about Jamie because you said they're the same age. And I
mhm.
know he's like he's in love with Keeley. So I mean, is that what he wants? Is that what she wants?
I don't think that's what Jimmy really wants, but I guess we'll see.
Tell me what you want. What you really, really want.
All
Mm.
right. Also, two more questions we're gonna put on the book. So that's Ted Fire Nate.
Now that you've mentioned how he's better than all of us, he's gone through his therapy and he understands life a little more. Maybe not, but I hope so. And I hope he does because Beard says this isn't the only weird thing he's done. He's done
Mhm.
these things too. And I hope they all gather that and say, okay, because of that, we can't trust you and we can't have you here. But doesn't can't but Rebecca can fire him too, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But if they
So
do they get another coach? Or do they
possibly,
just
but
stick with
okay.
these three?
So here's what I think. This show, well, this season of the show is about fatherhood,
Mhm.
And like I said, we saw what Ted did with Sam. He was like, the signs were, you have a good father, but Jamie doesn't. But he also had Nate like right in his face and like didn't see like the signs that Nate's relationship with his father wasn't well. So I think for those reasons, he's like, Nate, I forgive you. Let's make this work.
But I hate
I,
that
I, don't- I
because
don't
it's
li-
not
I
his
don't like it.
job.
I don't
Yeah,
like
it's
it.
not his
But
job to father Nate. Like, without Ted, Nate would still be a kid man.
mm,
Nobody would know who he is. Nobody would know his name. Like that, you have to give all credit to Ted for that. And I say that with 100% confidence because Nate wasn't going to go out and do it on his own. Ted
mhm.
gave him the confidence to say even the little bit he's doing now, him and Keeley. So I don't even think he would have said anything to Keeley without Ted. So it's just, I guess it hits harder and it cuts deeper because you've quite literally bitten the hand that feeds you. So I hope he fires him.
I hope he does
But if
too.
he
I
doesn't,
hope
I
he
won't
does
be
too.
surprised. Like because
Yeah.
of those reasons, I won't be surprised. Do you think Beard would fire him?
Oh yeah. Beard would
Okay.
have fired him like
I mean, I
70
didn't know.
episodes ago.
Okay. So you think he stays on? We'll just out. If I have to put it on the books, I say yes. He's gonna fire him. If you put it on the books, you say
Okay.
no.
Yeah,
I
I'll
said,
say no.
uh-oh. Okay, you say no. Okay, go ahead. Next question.
Yeah, I'll say no. All right. Final one. Roy and Keeley, do they break up?
Yes, I feel like they already broke up. I feel like that
I'm,
was a
I'm, I'm
breakup.
gonna I'm gonna throw a surprise here. I don't think they do.
Okay. 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 So you think they stick it out?
Yeah.
So you think, but okay, so do they not break up now or do they not break up at all? Like you think they're in it for the long night? They're in game.
Mm.
Okay. I hope so.
Yeah, I
But
think.
I don't know. I don't know because not like like you even said, what do they have in common?
But at the same time, remember how we said Roy looked at Jamie almost like a young version of himself. I think she may realize
Mm,
that. Like
okay.
I was waiting on Jamie to become something, but what I was hoping he would become is actually you. So
You're right.
yeah, yeah,
Right there.
yeah.
And what happens then with Roy and his feelings for the teacher?
See, I
Because he
think that was
likes
just
her. Like it's a little crush. I mean, it might not be a
yeah.
I want
See,
to
I
date
think
her.
I think it's just a crush. It's just a crush. Yeah.
You know what though? I wouldn't dispute you because I think it was partially part her and part not wanting to go home for that photo shoot.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
it may not have been as much her as just I don't want to do this thing, but I'm going
Mm,
to because my girlfriend needs me to be there. So it was just a convenient delay, I guess.
exactly.
But 3 hours, 3 hours,
I don't like anybody enough to spend 3 hours with, and outside
three
the people
hours.
that I have. Yeah.
But if I'm wrong, I'm okay with it. Like
Yeah.
I'll be
Yeah. Yeah.
happy if I'm wrong. Now I won't be happy if I'm wrong about Nate, because
No. 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 No.
but I do
Like
want him to be a
I
better
want to be
person.
wrong about that.
I do want that. So I guess in the grand scheme, if they don't fire Nate because he becomes a better person, I think I could get over it. But I think sometimes, a lot of times, most of the time, you need to feel the consequences of your actions, and that will make you better. And that
Mhm.
might be what Nate needs. Like you need to see that you can't do this type of thing and be successful. And then he won't do it again,
Yeah, it's
hopefully.
almost like firing a racist. Like, how many times did they do racist things and get to keep their job? Maybe this time they will learn their lesson. So, yeah,
Maybe you won't be racist, at least not out loud,
at least not out loud. Yeah,
because it's in you.
but yeah, I guess overall, no matter what happens, I have no choice but to trust the process, basically, because the finale of the first season was just freaking phenomenal. So I expect nothing less from this one. So I trust the writing. I trust the whole process. Whatever happens, like will likely be like, oh, I didn't see that coming. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Okay. Do you think because the next episode is going to be the expose clearly, right? Like it's going to come out and he's going to have to deal with that.
Mm.
So my questions are, one, do they get promoted? Two, how does he handle the expose? Or how, not even how Ted handles it, how do the fans and the critics handle the expose? Because Rebecca
Well,
shouldn't be surprised. She
I
knew
was
he
about to
had a
say
panic
my
attack.
my answer answers both of them because yes, they get
Okay.
promoted, and when they get promoted because of Ted, nobody's gonna care anymore.
No, no, okay, okay. Do you think he's even gonna speak on it?
He kind of has to.
I think he kind of has to. I feel like at the post game presser, Trent may say something about it, and not in an evil way, just in a Trent Krim
Wait,
independent way.
Trent who?
Trent Krim, who's he work for, Renee?
The Independent.
I think he's gonna ask in his way because he's just a great journalist. Like he's, if nothing else, he is.
Mm,
But he does it respectfully, and he respects Ted, which he told him. So I think there's gonna be something he may say about it, or he may just like do that whole no comment thing and say, "I'm just here
yeah,
to talk about football."
yeah.
Or maybe the team will rally around him and just say what a great coach he is, and Nate's gonna be there looking stupid.
Mm.
Because do you think that's gonna come out that Nate was the one that told?
I
Because
mean,
everybody else is
yeah.
gonna know. The coaches are gonna know. Are the players gonna find out?
The players gonna find out when Roy is stuffing him into a locker. Yeah,
Into a locker, okay.
yeah.
Because I think Roy's gonna be pissed. And I
Oh
know
yeah.
Beard's gonna be pissed. I think Leslie will be disappointed. Um, I don't know how Rebecca's gonna react.
Rebecca's gonna be like, who? No, just fine.
But she knows
Yeah,
Nate now.
she knows Nate now. Yeah.
But she's also very protective of Ted.
Hmm.
So I think that's gonna be a problem. Again, especially because she already knows what it was. And I think that's the best part. It's not gonna be a surprise to her because she knows he had a panic attack because she knows Ted.
Hmm.
So yeah. Okay.
Either way, we lit. I can't wait.
We lit. We
So
lit.
please join us next week. We might have some special guests come through.
We might. We might.
We might. So yeah, just stick with us. Let us know what you think about this season. What you think about what's gonna happen in the finale. You know, hit us up at the KWC blog. But yeah, until next time.
Peace.
Peace.